Howdy, hi, hey, I'm Taven Wohlford, Marketing and Digital Media Manager here at the NAA, and I'm here with another Talk with the President. Joining me today, President Morgan Hopson, CAI. Morgan, happy May.
Happy May. How are you
It's
today?
I'm doing great. It's Star Wars Day, and I feel like I legally have to say it to you. May the 4th be with you.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, not quite what you're supposed to respond with, but we've been over this.
Yeah, what am I supposed to say? Will the fourth be with you too?
Great. And also with you, whatever that church
Oh,
upbringing.
sure. Yeah.
I won't go a full lore breakdown here, but what's your force move right now in business? What's something you're really dialing in or getting better at?
I think something we're really working right now, just processes and being more efficient in what we do throughout our team and with our agents. And so that's something we're really working on right now. I'm working on a couple of cool projects in Replit, trying to just streamline some things for us and our team.
Cool.
So yeah, just excited about that.
All right. All right. Well, we can keep the lightsabers holstered for now and just, get into actual auction
That's
stuff.
good. I mean, am I gonna blow your mind if I tell you? I mean, I was forced to watch Star Wars in middle school, like in English class or something.
No, yeah, you're blowing my mind a little bit that you were
hmm
forced to
I
do
don't
it.
know that I've seen it since then.
Okay, okay. Should I let our viewers in on who you thought Darth Vader's father or who he was?
Look, I know that Darth Vader is the dad. Whose dad? None of my business. Don't know.
None of your business.
None of my business.
Okay, well, let's start here. National Auctioneers Week. We just wrapped it up. And from where I was sitting, it felt like this really big thing that took on a life of its own this year. Timelines were full, people were engaged, and the industry showed up in a big way. Now, my timeline is filled primarily with auction professionals, so my glasses might be rose colored, but I
Hey.
don't think they are. From your perspective, Morgan, how did this year's National Auctioneers Week feel?
To me, I think it felt really special to me. And I think partially, and thanks to you, Tavin, you put out such a great content calendar for us so that to make that process a little easier, I think, for people. And so thanks for you and the team for putting that together because I think it really did help engagement. But what I really saw this year was just so much pride and visibility around what we do. And I think that goes to, a lot of times we do that internally, like National Auction Association will do that. But this year I saw a lot of outward facing, like people were telling their
Yeah.
own stories. And I think the storytelling and the engagement just reinforced that we have such a powerful story to tell as auctioneers and auction team members in our industry and how impactful it is in everyday life, right? And how many different asset classes we touch as auctioneers and what an impact we can make. And I think that was, to me, this year felt a little different because I didn't just feel it internally. I felt it of, how we are representing ourselves to the public.
Hmm.
And I think that's something we just have to continue to be intentional about because it does make such a difference. And I think we saw that during obviously National Auctioneers Week. It was so outward facing and we're telling our stories and communicating those to the public. I just thought it was really fun. I thought it was really engaging. For me, National Auctioneers Week was also really special because I had the opportunity to be at the World Automobile Auctioneers
Oh,
Championship
yeah.
in Memphis. And so that was on Friday. And so just kind of a way to end National Auctioneers Week for me to be there. Shout out to Shane Ratliff for inviting me to come and represent the NAA. I was able to speak the morning of the contest to all the contestants and to the attendees that were there. And so that was just really a cool opportunity. And to Paul, who's their executive director, for just having us there. I think that also just speaks to the relationship that we have and the respect we have between associations within AAA and the NAA. But to be there, for me, it just added another layer to the week to watch some of the best auctioneers in the world perform at that level. I think for me, it was just a reminder again that, the live bid call is so special and what we do as a craft and how much
Mhm.
skill and discipline it takes to perform at that level. And if you're not familiar with the WAC, the way they operate, it's just another day at the auction. It is sale day. They had, all the lanes running like they normally would in any given week. You just have the best auctioneers in the world in those lanes selling behind the block. And it is the energy, oh my gosh, truly unmatched. And so just to walk in there and be able to witness that was incredible. Dealers Auto Auction in Memphis, they put on such a phenomenal contest. The inventory they have for the contestants to sell, the way they ran the sale day, it was just really, really well done. And so I was so happy to be there, so happy to kind of end National Auctioneers Week with that experience and to celebrate the live auction method of marketing and to celebrate our contract auctioneers and the craft that they have, and the discipline and effort and all the time that they put into getting to that place was just really meaningful. And I think, if you're a competitive auctioneer, we think about the big three. So that's like the World Automobile Auctioneer Championship, the World Livestock Auctioneer Championship, and then of course the IC, International Auctioneers Championship. And so each one kind of showcases a different sector of our industry, but I think altogether, all of those experiences really highlight the talent that's in our industry and the diversity of what auctioneering really is and what it can look like. And so just during National Auctioneers Week, to be able to celebrate that and the live auction method of marketing, to see that in action at that level, I think just, again, for me, reinforces how strong and relevant our industry is. And to be able, again, to do that during National Auctioneers Week was just really cool.
So you are telling me that this was a normal sales day. Were there like buyers that went to
Yeah.
WAC and they didn't even realize it was Championship Friday? They were just there to buy a car?
I mean, I'm sure some people did. Exactly. Yeah. Dealers are there. Your car buyers are there. It runs just like a normal day at the auto auction. There are 4 lanes of competitors where, all those lanes are running at the same time and the contests are going on in different lanes. And then you kind of had 2 or 3 other lanes that they were still running cars through and people were selling like any other day. So full regular day at Dealers Auto Auction in Memphis. Wow. You just got to experience some of the best auctioneers in the world behind the block. So really cool.
Yeah. You see something like that and it's going to fire you up.
Absolutely.
You brought up some questions. I'll get us back on track with these competitions. But before we leave National Auctioneers Week, one more question for you on there.
Okay.
We asked a question during the week that I wanted to bring back here because I think it's a really important one. What advice would you give to new auction professionals who are just getting started in this industry?
I think if I were to give a new auction professional one piece of advice, I think it would be just to show up, right? We live in a world where, in this day and time, we need instant gratification. And ironically, we are also in a profession where we're used to producing results like really quickly, and getting results really quickly. And I think for a new auctioneer, I would just say, get in the room, get in the room with other auction professionals, stay curious, be open, but don't try to shortcut the process, because that is what really makes seasoned auction professionals so good at what they do. Because this is a profession, I think, that really rewards consistency. It really rewards humility. And if you're not humble and you don't have that humility, it's going to kick you on your butt pretty quickly. And then just having that willingness to learn and be, like I said, be open. I think, some of the best auctioneers I know have been in this industry a really long time, and they've had a lot of ups and downs through this industry. They've showed up constantly. They ask the questions. They're open to feedback, and then they keep just refining their craft and getting better at what they do. And I think just as important, or even more important, that they're constantly building relationships. Our industry, we say it all the time, but it really is built on community, and we are such a family. And if you take advantage of that, the people that are in this industry, in this association, they're going to challenge you. They're going to make you better. But they're going to support you through that whole process. And they really are going to help you grow if you let them and if you're open to that. So I think just showing up, right? That's the first step. Just show up, go to conference and show, go to some of our summits, show up to our community conversations and webinars. Give yourself an opportunity to really get invested in the profession and to meet people. Stay engaged. I always think, some people go one time and they're like, it wasn't for me, and they never come back. And that's where I think that they mess up, because there's such an opportunity there to learn from other people. And in our industry and our association, it's an open book. You could ask anyone anything. They're probably going to tell you the real true answer
Right.
of what they do in their business and how they're successful. And so I think just to a new auction professional, like give yourself some grace, give yourself some time to develop, because in the end, it's going to be worth it. And this industry and the people in it really do want you to succeed. And so take advantage of that and the people around you.
Yeah, yeah. I think about who deserves huge congratulations for the World Automobile Auctioneering Championship. Team champs Blake Walker and Donnie Marr, ringman champion Gracie Sherman, and auctioneer champ Toya McLeod. All of those individuals had to start somewhere before that day arrived for them.
Yeah.
I completely agree with what you're saying. How does that energy carry into Confidence Show and IAC? All this built up momentum that we've got. How does that carry into what we've got going ahead?
Yeah, absolutely does. And, first of all, I got to give a quick shout out to Texas because we really showed out
Okay.
at WAC. You talk about our world champion, Toy McLeod. You've got your reserve champion, Sisto Paez. You've got your ringman champion, Gracie Sherman. Your reserve ringman champion, Cody Long, all from
Oh,
Texas. And then the reserve team champions would have been, or the reserve, team champions would have been Toy McLeod and Wade Pierce, all from Texas. So we kind of showed out this week. So I just want to
yeah.
give a shout out to Texas because when we talk about how does that energy carry into IEC, like all of them should be there, right? Like we should
Yeah.
take all of that energy to the IEC in July. And then obviously big congratulations to Blake Walker and Donnie Marr, the team champions. But just kind of wanted to give a shout out to my home state and everyone that was there. Blake Sherman was also in the finals from Texas. And so just a lot of incredible talent that was there this week. Just so proud of them and all that they do. But I think to your point, all of those competitors that were there were 75 auctioneers, 8 ringmen, and 30 team competitors.
Wow.
And I think to your point, they all had to start somewhere, right? And what we do is such a craft, and especially in contests. Like if you're a competitive auctioneer, there is so much discipline behind it. There's skill behind it. When it's done well, it is so special to watch. And I think that energy absolutely carries into conference and show and into IC because it creates inspiration, right?
Mm.
It is excitement. Like when I walked into the auto auction on Friday, I was like jazzed immediately because I'm like, oh my gosh, the energy here is unmatched. It's so much fun. It's the same at conference and show. When you get in that room, when you're around your peers, and you're competing at that level, I think it just also just challenges other people to step up and say, I want to be a part of that. And for Gracie Sherman to be the first woman to win the ringman competition at WAC, I just shared with her over the weekend. I said, you will inspire other women to compete. You will
Yeah.
inspire other women to get involved and have the confidence to take the stage because they saw you do it, right? And they saw how much fun you had and how supported you were and how she's such a rock star. And I'm so impressed with her. But my point to her was that when you do those things, you inspire other people to want to do it as
Mm-hmm.
well. And I think that's the same for whether you're a competitive auctioneer or not. If you're just in the industry, I think when we're at conference and show and we share with others our ups and downs, and we share what experiences that we've had, it inspires others to do better or to want to do more. I think that just speaks to the community that we have as an industry because it's all connected, right? We can be in different sectors of business, we can sell different assets, but we all have the same commitment to
Mm-hmm.
excellence and to representing our industry in a way that is really positive and impactful. And so these contests just allow us to showcase that at a different level, but also give us the energy to take into our own businesses and take back home with us, and just the opportunity to inspire others.
Yeah, and I feel like that inspiring others is the answer to this next question, but we're less than 80 days out to Conference Show in San Antonio, Morgan. So when you think about Conference Show this year, for someone who's maybe on the fence about attending, what would you say to them about why it's worth being in the room?
First of all, I would say if you've never been, come. It is so hard to explain the feeling that Conference and Show
It
is
really
when you've not
is.
been there before. And I don't know that I can ever really put that into words because it's more of a feeling than it is like something I can explain. It's really something that you can't replicate anywhere else. it is such a family. It is where everyone comes together. You think about the quality of education that we have, the IC as the competition, but just from a networking community perspective, I think Conference and Show is really, if you've not been, where you see the full picture of what this association offers, and you're able to see it in 1 week, in 1 day, in one room, right? So more than anything for me, I think Conference and Show is about connection, because you're going to leave with new ideas from the education, from people that you meet in the hallways. You're going to leave meeting new people, so new relationships, new contacts across the country you can call if you have a question about something. And I think really just you leave with a clear vision for your business and your role within the industry. I think when we talk about takeaways and we talk about, oh, what am I going to get out of that? I think if you go in with what do I get out of it, you kind of have the wrong mindset going into it. Okay. But the value proposition, right? Like we have a duty to give back as industry professionals. But I think when people come to Conference and Show, you're going to leave energized in a way that makes you want to go back and implement things to grow your business and grow as a person. And so again, I just say, if you're on the fence, like, don't wait until you feel ready, right? You're never going to be fully ready, and there's never going to be a good time. Like, just make the time, put it on your calendar, get in the room, and let that environment and the people there help you grow into what you want to become. Because they are going to be so supportive, and there's really just, it's like Christmas, right? There's like Christmas Seriously. In July. There's really nothing like Conference and Show, and this year's is going to be absolutely amazing in San Antonio. So I just can't wait.
Okay, let's zero in on the competitive auctioneering aspect of Conference and Show, the International Auctioneer Championship. The deadline to sign up is May 29th, and this is always a big moment leading into Conference and Show. You've been through it, and not just through it, you've won it. Take me back to 2019 for a second, Morgan. What was that experience winning the IAC like for you?
Gosh, it's just so surreal when you finally win a contest. It truly was one of the most meaningful moments of my career. In the process of winning, right? All the years competing. I think that's just something that I really miss, that actually. And once you win, I'm so happy that I won. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Wouldn't take that back for the world. But the process of competing is something that is so special. And I think you can ask any competitive auctioneer, like, just the preparation that you put into it, the discipline, it really forces you to take a deeper look at your craft, but also like really forces you to do some soul searching in ways that you probably haven't done before. And then like I think I think just realizing why you're doing it, like why you're competing, what you're doing it for. And then I think when you step on that stage, you realize that I think at the beginning, a lot of competitors want it for the accolades or want it for the recognition. But I think as you compete and as you grow and mature in the process, you realize that competing is so much more than about the accolade or for the award or the title, because you're part of something so much bigger than yourself. Like, you have the opportunity to represent our profession and our industry and the people in it, the people who helped you get there, the champions that came before you, the standard we're all trying to uphold. It is just something I'll never forget. My best friends in the world I met through competing, right? I met through the auction industry. And I think, even more than winning, I would say what's really special, being in that sequester room, right? Being at roll call at 7 a.m. that Friday morning, right? Those are the things that, when I look back, really kind of define my IEC journey, if you will. Like, just specific memories of being in that room at 7 a.m. or being at sound check at 6:30 that morning, being in the sequester room with your peers, and you're all kind of have the same nerves before you go to the interview portion, right? And so I just think, that experience for me was so special, and still is. Like, the community that we have as champions and just supporting those people who are competing, the process was amazing, and I wouldn't take it back for the world. Like, it was, and then if you really want to know, Tab, 2019, we were in New Orleans when I won,
Yeah.
and when Trey and I won, and also just having a co-champion, and having Trey, like that's been so special too. And so whoever wins this year, I think just really really take the time to bond with them and get to know them as a person, because they will forever be your co-champions. But we won in New Orleans, and we had a hurricane come through town, Hurricane Barry, which everyone ended up calling Hurricane Barely, because it really wasn't much of anything. But
Good.
a lot of people left. A lot of people left on that Friday. But the people who were there made that so special for us when we won. And I think it was an even more intimate experience when we won, because it was such a small group of people, and the people that stayed and showed up for us in that moment was just incredible, and something I'll never forget.
Yeah. Have you competed in another auction competition since 2019?
Have not. Have not.
You've got to be itching like crazy.
I'm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I feel like
I
we're missing
chair.
out on something here.
I've chaired the IC a couple times. I chair the Lone Star Open that we have in Fort Worth. But no, not gotten back into the competitive
Oh,
world since then.
we
So
got to get you back in
yeah,
somewhere.
somewhere
Okay.
it'll happen at some point. It'll happen at
Okay.
some point.
Okay. For someone who's thinking about competing in the IAC this year, maybe they're on the fence, just like our individuals who on the fence about coming to CNS in general. Not sure if
Hmm.
they're ready. What would you say to them?
I would say just that. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to be willing, right? You have to be willing to be a little bit vulnerable, and you have to be willing to stretch yourself a little bit. And if you are willing to do that, and if you sign up and compete, it's going to sharpen your skills. It's going to help build your confidence. Um, you're going to make friendships and relationships that you're not going to be able to make anywhere else. And again, you don't have to win for the experience to be valuable. You're going to get something out of it if you come in dead last, right? Like,
Yeah.
none of us want that, but you will learn something from the experience, no matter if you win or if you come in dead last. And I think a lot of growth too happens in preparation, like I said. And there's something about putting yourself out there and being vulnerable like that in front of your peers. If you even have the slightest inkling that like maybe you want to compete, I think that's your sign, right? Like that's your gut just saying, yep, go ahead and do it. I had someone ask me actually at WAC, they said, I don't know if I'm ready for that level yet. And I said, oh yeah, that's the best way to do it. Just jump in with both feet, get in it, get in the contest. Everyone there is going to be cheering you on. No one wants you to fail. No one wants you to do a poor job. But when you go into that experience, you're only going to uplift others. And like I was telling Gracie, you're only going to inspire other people to get on that stage. And when we make steps like that as individuals, we have an opportunity to inspire other people to do the same. And I think, if you're teetering about it, just do it. Just sign up. You won't regret it. And then you're going to be itching to do it again the next year. So it's absolutely amazing. There's nothing like it. I miss the butterflies. I miss the experience. I miss every single part about it. And so sad I don't get that experience anymore. So jump in, do it. It's absolutely amazing.
What did competing in the IAC do for you as an auctioneer beyond just the competition itself? You talked about having Trey as your co-champion, but just beyond the competition itself, what did it do for you as an auction professional?
I joke with Trey all the time. I say, yep, you're the brother I never wanted that I got. I love him so much, and I am so appreciative for him. I think, I was telling him this past weekend too, he just has a superpower of lifting people up and bringing people alongside him in his journey. And just for us to have the opportunity to do that together was amazing. I think we talk about winning IC and winning a contest, any contest, that it becomes not about the accolade, but how you can inspire others and the ability you have to impact others. And so for us, we had the ability to go to St. Jude, which a lot of champions have had over the years. And, you're there, and we're there to have fun, and we're there because we won the IC. And you get in that room for us with those kids, and you just think, oh my gosh, there's so much more to the world than any contest, right? Sure. And so for us just to be able to go there and give those kids just a little bit of hope, a little bit of fun, be able to teach them how to chant, be able to, we did a toy auction with them
Mm.
the year I won, and a lot of years prior to that. And so, I think that just changes your perspective a little bit, or a lot. And I think when you win, beyond the competition, it kind of elevates your awareness of the impact that you can have in other people's lives. And I think it made me more intentional. And I think not just outwardly, but I think it makes you more intentional too about your presence and how you communicate with people.
Mm.
And it connected me again just to this community of competitors and past champions that I still lean on today. And a lot of them are mentors and really great friends of mine. And I think winning a contest like that, you have an opportunity. For me, one of my favorite parts, aside from St. Jude, was just traveling around the country and getting to connect
I
with
bet.
auctioneers and auction
Yeah.
professionals in different states. Just to have that time with auction professionals around the country was really amazing. And then I think the contest, whether you win or not, it just gives you confidence, like not only on stage, but in your business. And just the experiences that you go through and the connections that you make, I don't know, they just stay with you long after the competition is over. Like,
Hmm.
I so vividly have these memories. But I think a lot of the things that happened there, all of that awareness, all of that intentionality, that's just carried through and matured over the years since I've won. It's so much more than a contest, right? It's
Yeah.
so much more than getting on stage on that Friday or showing up that morning for sound check or being in the finals. The IC, and if you're a competitive auctioneer, any contest is more than winning a trophy. And I think if you're really at a place where you're ready to win, then you realize that, right? And it's about the
Okay.
awareness, and I don't know, just setting the tone. We all want to win. I'm not gonna lie about that. I
Of
was,
course.
every time you go on stage, you want to win, and you want the accolade, or you want, but I think it's more about the impact that we have the ability to make after it's all over. Just encourage people to enter, and encourage people to come to Conference and Show and compete in IEC. It's Christmas morning there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You brought up perspective there, and I'll let you take us home here. But when you look at everything we talked about today, the momentum from National Auctioneers Week, WAC, the competition that was, the
Sure.
energy heading into Conference Show, the opportunities like the IAC coming up, I've got to ask, being where you are now in your presidency, does all this momentum hit a little differently than it would have at the start of your presidency?
Think so. I mean, I think as you're more in it, um, it's interesting. I think if you talk to past presidents, that it's an interesting weight that you carry as president, right? Because you don't just feel it personally, you like have another deeper level of
Yeah,
investment, right?
yeah,
That you want to make sure that you're representing this industry in the best way possible, that you're representing the people that you care about, which means our auctioneers, our auction team members, our auction professionals across all sectors of our industry in the best possible light. And so I think it does feel a little bit different. And as you get into your presidency, I think you feel that even heavier as the year goes on. And then I think for me, to your point, you kind of start to realize how all the pieces connect, right? Like National Auctioneers Week, WAC, IEC, Conference and Show, Next Gen, Advocacy, like it's all a part of a bigger picture, and they're all intertwined. And so I think that does come with a deeper sense of responsibility. The momentum is really exciting, right? But we have to have the responsibility to do something with it.
true.
And
Yeah,
that requires dedication. And so from a president's perspective, yes, it is good that we have all of this momentum. It's so exciting. I'm so glad that we have it. But what do we do with it? Right? And we've got to
sure.
turn that into intentional leadership, and we've got to turn that into engagement from our members, something that is going to continue. Like, we have this momentum now, but if we don't do anything with it, then we've done ourselves a disservice and our industry a disservice. So if we have this momentum and we can direct it in a way that turns all of this energy into something that lasts for
Mhm.
the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, then we've done our job, right? And
Yeah,
so that's kind of my focus. And I guess the weight I'm carrying right now is just to make sure, yes, we have all this momentum. It's amazing. And I think hopefully our members see and feel that over the last year. We've made a lot of changes and we've had a lot of great momentum, but that not only us in leadership on the board as staff, but our members, that we can use that to move forward in a really meaningful way that's going to continue to impact our industry and create an outward message to the public that makes an impact.
Yeah, if this past week showed me anything, it's that this industry shows
Yeah,
up. So yeah, let's carry that forward. That's all I have for you this
absolutely.
month. Morgan, anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. You're awesome, Taven. I appreciate all the work that you do. And
Okay.
to our members, get signed up. Don't wait. Get signed up for Conference and Show. We're looking forward to seeing you in San Antonio. It's we're gonna have some unique things for you, unique Texas things for you at the welcome party. So you're not gonna want to miss out on that. They say everything's bigger in Texas. We're gonna try to show it off.
Good. Thank you, Morgan. Always appreciate it. Until next time.
Awesome. Thanks, Taven.